I came today really to take a look at what LTA plans to do with regard to the improving the ingress and egress to the stations here in Clementi, Commonwealth and Queenstown. And I think that when the plans are implemented, it would actually ease the flow for people coming into and out of the stations. And LTA will also progressively be looking at the rest of the stations that were built in the 80s and to see how we can improve on some of them, especially those that are most heavily utilized. Okay. I wanted also to share with you that we are making some enhancements to our demand management schemes. We have a couple of schemes, one run by SMRT to provide a discount to those who are traveling at the pre-peak hours, meaning they exit in the city before 7:45. And the other one was a trial scheme with the support of LTA that was done by NUS and Stanford, and that is called the InSync program. All right. What will happen is that there will be bigger savings and there will be more attractive prices to both the schemes. Okay. For the SMRT scheme on pre-peak travel, what we will do is that since it was last improved in October 2011, we will make a further improvement come August this year. From a discount of 30 cents, we will increase that discount to 50 cents. Okay, we will have more stations that will qualify when people exit those stations before 7:45. Currently, it is 9 stations. We will increase that to 14 stations with the addition of another 5 stations in the city area. Many of them are Circle Line stations. We will also be increasing the stations where the entry will be effective. Okay, because right now it is really only the compass lines, the north, south, east, west lines. We will also allow entry from the Circle Line stations to qualify for the incentive, provided they exit the relevant stations before 7:45 in the morning. So that is really the SMRT scheme. And since it was implemented last year in October, we have actually seen some encouraging results. Our estimate is that about 3 to 4% of the commuters that would otherwise have travelled in the 8 to 9 o'clock time belt have shifted their travel patterns. Now, it is hard to say whether you can attribute this entirely to the SMRT discount scheme, but if nothing else, at least based on our aggregated figures, we think that 3 to 4% of the commuters have shifted their travel patterns. And we hope that with the bigger savings, it will encourage more of them to shift their travel patterns to the earlier time in the morning. So that is the first scheme that we have. The second one is the InSync study, where 17,000 commuters signed up to take part in this study that was run by NUS and Stanford with the support of LTA. We are going to extend this to the end of 2013. And we hope to have more participants come in so that we can have a better feel of how the behaviors change. Unlike the SMRT scheme, this scheme is tailored so that really it is the entry time at which you get into a station that will allow you to qualify for the rewards and the incentives. So as I said, 17,000 people have signed up to take part. About 60% of them have won prizes so far. We have given up about 30,000 prizes, and I think LTA will be able to share with you, some of the people who have won these prizes. This is a selected group of commuters, of course, that we took in for the study period, and of those who would otherwise have travelled during the peak, and we know their travel patterns from the past. We think that about 10% have shifted either to an earlier time belt or a later time belt. Okay, so in that sense, this one has allowed us from a very, very targeted group of commuters to better understand how they are prepared to change their behaviors. So come August and then November, we will be enhancing this scheme as well, and I think LTA will be able to share with you in greater detail what they intend to do.
Is that a 3 to 4% shift from peak to off-peak? Do you have your assessment? What do you think of the figures? Is it too small or ultimate target?
Well, actually, it is an encouraging target. We think that that there is a little bit more that we can do, but we don't want to also shift it in a very significant way, because then it becomes possibly an overload onto the pre-peak period. So we think that there is some more room to shift another few percentage points, but so far with the behavior of the commuters and how they have taken to the incentive schemes, we've been encouraged by the results.
What's the target that you have in mind?
We hope that with this incentive to the additional incentive of 50 cents, for example, that is offered by SMRT, we hope to be able to shift another 3 to 4%, if possible.
Will there be any tie-ups with MOM or the government agencies to encourage flexible working hours? Because that's what experts...
Very much so. In fact, I think you are aware that the two ministers of state, Josephine Teo and Tan Chuan Jin, are heading a committee to look at what we can do together with employers as well as institutions. So it's not just employers only that we are working with, but also institutions of higher learning, like for example the polytechnics as well as the universities, ITE and so on. So they have been meeting, and at the right point in time we will share with you what are some of the things that we are planning to do in this regard. I think it is very important that MOM comes in, be able to work with employers both in the public and private sectors to see what more we can do to provide greater flexibility to the workforce.
Do you think the government sector will take the lead?
I think it is early days yet. There's quite a bit of discussion that's ongoing. So when we have more concrete information, we'll be able to share it with you.
The number of Cat A COEs will shrink about 40% in the second half. Where do you see premiums heading?
Well, we do not quite yet have a full picture of the COEs come the August time belt, because we are really waiting for the June dereg figures to come into place. So it's premature at this point in time to actually be able to pinpoint an exact number of the COEs in the various categories, or worse still, to speculate on how COE prices will increase or decrease going forward. But what we have done actually two things. One is actually to slow down the rate of decrease from 1.5 to 0.5%, and so come the August window, August to next February, it will be 1% growth. The second also is that we have decided to defer what is termed as the clawback of the excess COEs given out, and that will be for the entire year from August to next July. Okay, and the third thing that we have decided to do is actually to slow down over 2 half-yearly windows the 25% contribution of all the different categories to Cat E. We think that these measures will improve the situation somewhat than if we were to otherwise not do anything.
But based on the vehicle registrations in the first 5 months, it looks like the second half will see a shortage of Cat A COEs vis-a-vis the first half.
Well, I think COE numbers we will be able to announce sometime in July. I think we should leave it at that. Now, as to whether COEs go up or down, demand and supply, of course, is a main consideration. Supply, we will know better in July what it is going to be. Demand, I think, depends on many factors, including, for example, whether there are new attractive models that are coming into the market, and of course, to some extent, on the state of economy and whether people feel very confident about themselves, their finances, and the economy going forward.
So why did you decide to extend the in-sync study for 2 years?
Well, we think that it is actually a program that has some promise. 17,000 participants actually give us some indication of what the behavioral changes could be like and how we can actually tailor it accordingly, improve the incentives, as well as maybe work with large organizations to have programs that may be tailored for them. Okay, but it is worthwhile, I think, to study the behaviors of commuters on a larger scale to see whether the results that we have obtained so far bear out over a larger group of commuters. And so it is still a trial. We've decided to extend it to the end of 2013, and that will give us a better idea of whether it should be a permanent program or how else we can tweak it to better effect.
Is this an early bird discount of 30-50 cents? Some commuters have asked for the same scheme to extend it to North East Line. What's the thought on that?
Well, I think today the money is put up by SMRT to support this program. That was part of the fare review that was done in 2011. okay, where they put $5 million into the program to help manage the demand for travel especially during peak hours. We will have to see what else can be done with the money from SMRT in this program pertaining to the SMRT lines that they operate. Okay, with regard to other lines, for example, the NEL line as well as the LRT stations that are run by SBST, that's a different consideration altogether. We'll see whether they are able to come on board to join us in this program.
Is the authority talking to SBST?
When we have some indication or some announcements to make, we will let you know. Okay.
So what would you say to critics? I mean, there are a lot of people say that incentives and rewards do not really work. So what would your message to these critics?
Well, I think it certainly works for some. It may not work for all, but certainly for those 3 to 4% or for the 10% in Inksing, it would seem to have worked for them. When we increase the reward and the prices, for example, from 30 cents to 50 cents, we'll have a better indication of how attractive that is going to be. Because, I mean, for a trip, for example, that costs you $1, you could save 50%. So I don't think that is insignificant at all. There are those who would prefer to stay with their current travel arrangements. We can understand that. But for as long as we are able to incentivize some people to shift their travel patterns, travel a little bit earlier in the morning, for example, I think we would have achieved our goals.